Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special podcast. The most special podcast, because we're talking about the most special game. Because you see, folks, this year marks a very important anniversary. An anniversary more important than the anniversary of any country, the anniversary of any war, and certainly the anniversary of your parents' marriage. This year marks the anniversary of the greatest game of all time, Sonic 06.
Woo!
And
What is it?
oh my God, Ian, you gotta warn me if you're gonna do that. Just fucking screamed in my ear.
Wake up!
Oh, I don't know if it was the pitch or what, because normally the audio is like leveled with that. You oh,
just fucking dies immediately.
oh.
Literally just like that time Marty McFly was like, I'm gonna turn on these speakers so I can play a cool song, and then he fucking blew up and died. That's what you just did.
Yeah, but you know what? In honor of the greatest game of all time, I'm not gonna let this shake me. So we're here because I want to do some fun stuff for 06's 20th anniversary. How much of that stuff will I actually do? We'll see. I'm lazy and depressed. But we're going to start right here because my good friend, Ian Waffles, who you've already heard, say hi, Ian.
Hello, it's me, Ian Waffles.
Has recently replayed the game for the first time in a long time. For now, let's just start by saying, Ian, when you played this game, at what point did you realize that you were playing the greatest game of all time? Follow-up question.
Yeah.
At what point did you get depressed because you realized no game will ever be as good as the one you were playing at that moment?
If I had to guess, it would have been the moment when Silver, the hedgehog, shows up and he goes, "It's no use," but then I bonk him on the head and he can't do shit because he's a little idiot. And if he wants to fight Sonic the Hedgehog, me Sonic the Hedgehog, he's gonna have to die first, and I kick his ass. He doesn't drain all my lives, and I don't have to reset all of Dusty Desert because I'm a great gamer and I'm a Kino human being. There you go. That was when I realized it.
So,
whoa!
God damn it.
It's Jason Griffith. Let's go.
Oh boy! So
it's
anyway,
some of the most Jason Griffithy he ever sounds.
Is that true? I guess I don't know. We'll see. Anyway,
Elise! That's what he does.
Okay, so Ian, what were your actual overall thoughts on the game? Because apparently you've decided to troll me. And keep in mind, as you say these thoughts, that this is my favorite game of all time you're going to be talking about.
Yeah. Well, actually, I should give my thoughts on or not my thoughts, but my history with the game, because I have a big history with the game. So, when the game was coming out, that was around the time where, I was becoming a functioning human, because I was born in 97. So that would have been 2005 around that time. So
it really sounded like you were about to say, "With the time I'm becoming a father." That was what it really sounded like you were going to say that.
Back in 1997 was when I was born. I'm an old man. So around 2006, I'm still like a young lad. And I'm like, oh man, Sonic 06 is like the coolest looking fucking thing ever. And I still think like those old trailers and all those, just like the concept of 06 and like a lot of stuff we'll get into are just like so cool. But I saw the trailers and I gathered my sisters together. They're still like fucking toddlers. I don't know nothing, but I'm like, all right, guys, if we can convince mom and dad to give us all like certain allowance and money for Christmas and birthdays, we can get me a PS3 so that I can play Sonic 06. And they're like, yeah, that makes sense. And we never went through with that because eventually my buddy got Sonic 06 on Xbox, and I ended up playing it. And I thought it was really fun, and I had a great time. And like I never experienced any of like the glitches, and I just kind of played through it. And I was like, yeah, like this is awesome. I would play a lot of the multiplayer at my cousin's house, and we would play that together. And he would catch me as Silver, and I'd get really mad because then he perma blocks you, and you can't go after him. And I was just there's a lot of fun with the game, and I finished it. And I think that's the only time I ever really played the game was back when it first came out. and I had it for a little bit. I didn't have a PS3 at the time, so I just had it for a bit, and then that was it. And the rest is history as far as like what the internet and things like that came to conclusion on the game. But for me, I was just like, oh, I guess it was bad secretly or whatever. I liked it, but oh well, because I never had any glitches or anything like that, so there it was. But I'm also someone who's never been that attached to any like Sonic story as well, so it was not as if I was like super attached to the narrative and all those things, and then came away being like, oh, people hate this, and now like I don't know what to feel or whatever. I was just like, oh, okay, I guess it's bad or whatever. I don't know, I liked it, but I don't really care one way or the other because I just like Sonic games because I like playing as Sonic. So yeah, my takeaway over the year. So my goal going into playing this game now in 2025 or in 2025 when I played it was I was like, you know what? I've seen all these videos. I've met people like you, Ace, who really love the game and genuinely love the game, not just like in a sense of like, oh, like it's I know it's bad, but like I just love it anyway, and I don't really have a reason. It's like, no, you have legitimate, genuine reasons for why you think the game is good. And so I was like, you know what? I'm cool to come out of this this playthrough becoming a 06 apologist. Why not? Sounds fun to me. So so I played the game, and I did not come out an 06 apologist, but I did come out of it more kind of understanding more what I like about the game and the concepts and things that people talked about that I really enjoyed. Appreciating the things that were always there even before something like Project 06 came out, which I really love that game. And just in general, just coming away from the things, understanding like this is what I don't like about the game and all that. So really, it was just a fruitful experience to play it once more. And my score I gave it was a 4 out of 10, which is below average. But that I have to be clear, that is because I played it on the PS3, which has the worst lag out of any of the versions, and it has the longest of the loading screens. And I do genuinely think if the lag had been lesser, and if the loading screens had been shorter, it would definitely be like a 5. So a game that I think is like not the most horrible abomination that anyone's ever played, but that also comes with its own caveat. So 06 is the game of all time. That was kind of my takeaway, but I was really glad that I did play it. So do you have any specific questions about the game? Since I know you love it, so is there anything that you would want my opinion on?
Well, we're gonna go through it, but first of all, I just want to say, sounds like a fucking skill issue, scrub.
Fair.
But I think we could just go through it, and I've broken it down into sections, and I'll just ask you questions. It's gonna be fairly freeform, audience. This isn't gonna be like a normal podcast where we like go through a story or whatever. We're not gonna break down the story of 06 or whatever. I just want to talk about my favorite game with my buddy who just played it.
Yeah.
So I guess overall, what did you think of like Sonic's story, like Sonic's episode, is they're called in the game?
And you mean just the actual story of it, or just like the whole experience of gameplay, or
I mean like the whole experience, like overall, like what do you think?
I would say with Sonic's story that I probably had the most fun with it. So my ranking would go like Sonic, Silver, Shadow, as far as like the most fun I had with just like the whole package. Because with Sonic, I just felt like I was most able to like the way I would describe playing 06 and like enjoying 06, because I actually did enjoy a lot of my time with it. Again, the lag just really hurt it. But a lot is like it's a game where it feels like you're wrangling in a bull, where it's like you're trying to figure out like how do these control works. You're trying to like get used to the fact that like when Sonic does a little dash, he like snaps to the ground as soon as he like gets close to it. You're trying to deal with like the fact that the camera then like reacts in that way. And when you do that, you can actually have a lot of fun, because there are games where like even if you master the mechanics, there's like nothing to it. It just becomes like tolerable. But no, when I was mastering Sonic's campaign, or like mastering like, okay, I know that if I fucking try to jump on this loop-de-loop, it's gonna like fucking insta kill me. So I have to like launch into this one, and then that actually gives me like a little shortcut. And you can use these things. When I was doing it that way, because I've seen all the videos on 06, I've played it in the past. I know all its tricks, all this ways it's gonna try to fucking kill you. So when I did that, I had a really good time playing Sonic's story and trying to figure things out. So yeah, for Sonic's story in general, I had quite a bit of fun. So
that's good. Yeah, I would say from a gameplay perspective, I think I enjoy Sonic's story the most. Just because I mean, if you're going into a Sonic game, it's about what you're expecting. Shadow's gameplay suffers from kind of the abundance of enemies and the fact that he's a bit slower. Whereas with Sonic, it's just like straightforward Sonic gameplay. You get the other two characters occasionally. I guess I'll ask about that. How did you feel about like the alternate playstyles in Sonic Story, like Tails, Knuckles, and the Elise missions?
I like the Elise missions because I like using the shield, and I like how fast it drops. So you have to like really actually genuinely keep it in mind when you're gonna do things. Knuckles, he drops like a rock. He's not fun. There's also his like combos are just really hard to like chain together into anything. Tails was pretty okay if I just like decided to just like, fly over things and spam the attacks, but then like again the lag would just go like fucking insane. So those two were just not that fun, but like when you're playing them, like you can get through them pretty quick. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy playing as those guys. There were other Amigo characters I found far more enjoyable. But yeah, no, playing as Sonic himself and playing as the Elise missions, I don't know. There's just something about, obviously, like people have talked about how like the level design of 06 is actually quite good. Like just in terms, I mean, again, Project 06 has shown this for a lot of people. It's like, oh, this is the same levels. The controls are just, more better for me to control. Like I feel like I control the characters more. Where again, for me, I really like the level design, but like I like kind of like trying to wrangle in how Sonic controls and like how he like sticks to walls and like having to like figure that out. Really, the only time I was ever like frustrated with Sonic is just simply trying to do the Lightspeed dash. I swear I would just like touch a ring and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to click the dash button and he would just go plummeting, or he would just like hit the one ring and then fall to his death. And then also just like trying to homing attack off of rails. Like for example, there's that one moment at the start of Kingdom Valley where you're going on this little, you're going down to the part where it launches you up and then you hit the enemy into the bridge and then the bridge falls on all the enemies. So I'm like going down that and there's a little rainbow ring and I want to jump through the rainbow ring. But I try to jump through it. I try to jump at it and there's not enough room. I try to jump across the enemies and then he just immediately slams into the rail and you just can't do it. Like no matter what I try, I'm sure there is a way to do it, obviously, but I could never do it as many times as I tried. And that was the most frustrating. Like when I would see paths that I'm like, okay, just do the thing you're supposed to do, game. I'm supposed to jump over here and dash into it, and it just won't let me. So those were the only times that I had problems, but I really didn't run into that too much. Instead I had way more fun trying to like figure out how to control the characters and stuff. But yeah, sorry. Did you have something you want to say?
No, I was making fun of your skill issues again.
True. I will say though, so this is where there's like the dual problem with Sonic 06, which is that I know all of its evil tricks because Sonic 06 is an evil game. For example, the reason people hate it so much makes a lot of sense, which is that you watch the first cutscene and it's great and it looks awesome. Then you go through all the town missions and you hear hey 5 times to do just running through a bunch of rings. And then, okay, but fine, whatever. You finally get to the first level. And the first level, you get to the Mach Speed section and it just will fucking kill you. It just will betray you. And if you try to jump, you go, oh, can you jump in these levels? No, you can't jump in these levels because if you jump once and you are in the wrong angle, you just can't correct yourself. So you're dead. Or hey, I'm on the final loop-de-loop. Can I just run through the loop-de-loop? No, you can't, because if you hit it at the wrong angle, it will just throw you off the loop. And you're dead. And there's nothing you can do about it. You ran into the loop, but you didn't hit at the perfect angle. And there's nothing you can do about it. Sorry. So there's just things that the Mach Speed sections will do to just fuck with you. Or, for example, you'll go over the dash pad and it'll go, hey, this dash pad's supposed to take you forward. We're just going to drop you onto, and this happened to me when I played this. We're just going to drop you onto the ledge below and you can't jump out of it and you're just dead. And that's all your lives. And holy shit, did you realize you haven't saved yet? The game didn't autosave or anything or ask you to save. You have to redo the whole game. Fuck you. It's like, oh, thanks, game. So because I knew all of 06's evil, terrible tricks, I was able to avoid things like that, where it's like, okay, I know, avoid this. I know, just don't jump. I know, like, whenever you hit this one dash panel, it's just going to kill you. I know when you do this light speed dash, it's just going to kill you. I know if I try to homing attack on this, it's just going to kill me. So I was able to avoid all those things and not have those problems, but there were many times where it would still get pretty fucking darn close, where the game would just betray me through no fault of my own. So that's where 06 is tricky, because I want to give it a 5 because my experience was pretty good, minus the lag and stuff. But I also know if I did not know all of these tricks and tips and all these different things, it would be way lower, because the game is evil. The game fucking hates you. So, those are my thoughts.
Well, here, you know what? I'll give my 06 origin story. I don't know if I've ever done this.
Go for it.
So I was not a Sonic fan when I was little. In fact, when 06 came out, I would have been, 5? So I probably wouldn't have even been able to really play it and appreciate it. I did not play Sonic 06 until I was 14. And so I knew its reputation going into it. But I was like, this game looks rad as fuck. It's got Sonic in 2 Sonic recolorings instead of just 1. I bet that these people just aren't appreciating it properly or whatever. And eventually I would come to that opinion. But at first, I did not, because I did hit the mock speed section and I did game over and I did have to restart the whole game. And that was when I did what I imagine a lot of people do when they play Sonic 06. And that is go, oh, it is not my fault that I am bad at this game. It's the game's fault. And so then I was just like, yep, 06 is bad. And it wasn't until like, I don't know, a couple years later that I went back and when I saw that people were like, actually 06 is pretty good, where I gave it another chance and played through it and enjoyed it properly.
Yeah, so you didn't come at so you don't come at the game from a nostalgia point of view. You know, you left it behind like most people do. But you wanted to give it more of a chance, and it won you over, like genuinely.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, I would still say I'm nostalgic because again, I was still a teenager when I kind of came back to that. Like when I came back to it, but yeah, no, and I guess the point I'm getting at is that I think a lot of people are little bitch babies, and if 06 didn't have the reputation of being the bad Sonic game, people would just be like, oh, this game has difficulty and it has a live system, so I'm going to game over because that's how this game works.
Well, would you say it's being a bitch to be mad that you have to replay 10 loading screens to go through rings to redo a level that you weren't told the controls of?
Yes.
How so? No. Defend yourself.
No. I mean, no, that's fair. Like, here's the thing. That's fair. The fact that it doesn't.
Because the mock speed sections don't tell you anything.
Look, yeah, the mock speed
they just kill you.
should have midair controls. I'll give you that.
They should tell you what to do. They should tell you, like, hey, we're about to like actually murder you, and you should prepare for that and kill yourself. Like, they should probably tell you that as well. They don't tell you anything. They just throw you in, and you expect it's going to be fun, and then it fucking kills you and says, hey, 5 times. And then you go through rings, and then it goes, now you can try again. But first you have to do the first 2 sections of the level, and now, after you've gone through all of that, try to remember how to play these again, and then it fucking kills you again.
Look, you're not wrong. Like, okay, look.
You can't get good at something the game literally won't let you play.
The game will let you play. Okay, so you die and you restart the game, then you remember, like, hey, there's a save button, then you hit save, and then you play the level again. Like, let's not act like game overs are a new phenomenon, or were a new phenomenon. Like,
no. And those games sucked when they did it too, but they also had less loading screens. So they were sucky, but they weren't like the worst thing ever.
Okay, Mr. Loading Screens. Look. Okay, well here's why I'm admittedly a fake Sonic 06 fan. Because I have not played the game on real hardware in years.
Indeed, you're a cheater.
I'm not a cheater. I just spent a lot of money on a computer. And then I, legitimately dumped my copy of the game onto my computer. And then, I emulate it and the load screens are not as long.
Yeah, and if they weren't as long, it'd be great. And here's the thing. I'm going to defend you now, which is that, so I totally understand, because obviously, for example, my favorite game is Kingdom Hearts 2. Now, that game, when it came out on original hardware, had a ton of loading screens. They weren't like as long as 06, but like there's a lot of little mini scenes that happen in that game, or like little mini games. And these mini games would just be like, push the thing out of the way. And so you would load that, and then you'd push it, and then it would load again. And then there would be a cutscene where it would talk to you. Then it would load out of that. Then you'd go through the door, and then it would load out of that. Then it would go to a cutscene. Then it would load out of that. And now you're fighting the boss. And each of those loading screens, let's say they were 4 seconds long, right? That adds up. And they were probably like five or six, knowing that like the PS2 and how much is in that game. Nowadays, if you play Kingdom Hearts 2 on like the current version that they give, it is instantaneous. So like it is literally like you walk through the door, it does the little like, because in Kingdom Hearts 2 it does like a little like it zooms in and then zooms out. It zooms in, it zooms out instantly. There's no loading. So when you play all those little things like the pushing the drawer or whatever, you go to it, in, out, push it, in, out, talk, in, out, walk through the door, in, out, you're in. Like that's it, done. And that's the version of the game that I'm currently playing, and that's not any less legitimate than someone who, if they're going to play the PS2, is doing that. But nobody's playing the PS2 version, they're only playing that version. And this is where like 06 is like a fascinating game, and this is where I think this is a cool topic, because I should be playing the version you're playing, but as you know, I suck at computer stuff and I cannot get that to work. So I was stuck with the original hardware, and also I was stuck with the PS3 version, which is worse than the Xbox version, which has shorter loading screens and less lag. Still has those things, But you know, XYZ. So this is where just like games in general, it's really fascinating because, like, for example, if we were talking about this game on the version you're playing, that is the version everyone should be playing, and everyone reasonably should be playing. Like, nobody really has an Xbox or a PS3 anymore. I guess you could play it on the Xbox One. Are you able to play 06 on that?
I think,
you know, where it's a little updated or whatever. I forget, or is that Unleashed? Regardless,
I
like
know Unleashed you can. I don't know about 06.
yeah. So like, if you're gonna play this game, more than likely you're gonna play it on the most modern thing, which would be the computer. And if you're gonna do that without mods, you know, just you know, playing or whatever as it is, then it's gonna load faster. And that's the version you're playing. So it's one of those things where it's like, that's why like I try to subtract that stuff from my playthrough, where it's like, sure, even if loading screens were a little better, I do just think the game just does try to like fuck you over constantly. And while it is, I do agree with you, it is fun to like actually get good at those things, because eventually I was actually replaying the stages through trial mode. And I was like going through like the max speed sections, and I was realizing like, okay, if I just like turn here, can I go through this little path? Oh, I can. And like I was like, okay, if I don't jump here, oh, there's like a little thing you're supposed to do here, and like trying to like actually like feel out the game and figure it out. And that was fun. Like I did actually enjoy that. So like by the end of it, like Sonic Story or whatever, I quite enjoyed. Like I quite enjoyed Sonic Story. I would give it like a 6 out of 10. It was above average. I actually really enjoyed it. But I totally understand how 06 is like one of the highest barrier to entry games, because it just front loads you with all of this stuff. And then once again, you get to the silver boss fight and you're just like, oh, okay, you just attack silver, right? And the game shows no mercy. If you attack silver, like obviously you can listen for his like, oh, you're supposed to attack him whenever he says like, not it's no use. He says like, now I've got you or something like that. That's when you're supposed to hit him. But if you're just playing the game should expect you to just be like, okay, let's figure this out. Let's hit silver. What does he do? You hit silver once and he tries to fucking kill you, and you're like, okay, let me grab my rings. He's on you. It's no use. It's no use. And he chucks you into a wall, and you either get infinitely killed or you're stuck there forever, and then you have to redo Dusty Desert. Kill me. So
no, you don't.
You know, so that's the game constantly. It's constantly putting you in these situations where you're not allowed to learn it. But when you do learn it, if you're someone who actually cares enough to learn it, like I was, then you can have a lot of fun. But I can't really defend that, like, if you're just a normal person who's playing this game, why should you have to meet the game instead of halfway? You have to meet it like 70% of the way. You have to go like, oh, okay, I understand. The game was like built like shit objectively from every angle. So therefore I have to like hold its hand and like not watch it strip over itself. And then you can have fun with the game. Like when I collect the silver medals, I just have to understand they don't do shit. And I should not be expecting to look around the levels for cool items because they don't do anything. Like, that's okay. It's okay, game. I'm sorry. I forgot that you were built with like paper twigs. So like the game is one where you have to really try to understand it. But I do think if you try to understand it, it's a fun time. But I cannot berate anyone for not wanting to understand it, because you could just play a game that works and teaches you things. So you can play other Sonic games that teach you things. But yeah, so that's my core negative part of the rant, which is good because now I can talk about all the positive things I liked in the game. But do you have any response to that?
I will not let you spread this misinformation. You do not have to replay Dusty Desert if you game over on silver. That is just not true.
I am fairly sure you do.
No, you do not. Oh, okay, Ian, are you going to say that you have more 06 knowledge than I do?
On this point, yes, because it would be funny if I was right.
It would be very funny, but I know for a fact you're wrong because I know how the saving system works. You save after every level and every boss fight. The town missions you do not save after, which is why if you game over on Wave Ocean, you go to the beginning of the game because you don't save after the town mission where you get the rings to buy the shoes.
So what do you have to do if you lose to silver?
You have to watch the cutscene again. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I take back that part of my rant. The end.
I guess a few other things. Also, I should say, by the way, 06 was my favorite Sonic game when I was playing it on genuine hardware too. I want to throw that out there so everyone knows.
I believe you.
Yes. And so and I would by the way, objectively built like shit from every angle. That's a little mean, Mr. Waffles.
Do you disagree?
Yes. Of course I disagree?
Properly?
Pardon?
What do you think functions properly?
I mean, I think you have the skeleton of a
skeleton's a dead person.
Fucking asshole. I think
I didn't say there weren't good things, but I'm saying how it's built is fundamentally broken. Everything is broken.
It's not. I mean, you could play it, can you not?
Uh-huh.
So
I can throw a popped ball, and you can still hit it with the bat.
that's a really good analogy. Fuck.
It's still a game. It's still baseball. But yeah. No, I'm sure there's something in the game that functions. I'm sure if I looked really hard, but it's there somewhere. But regardless, no, 06 fucking hates you. And it's not, it's not the game's fault. It doesn't know. But that's just how it was built. It was just built that way because they literally stole half its family to go make fucking Sonic and the Secret Rings. So
yeah, it wasn't worth it. But
Gabe. But yeah, no. I mean, so when you're playing the game though, what were the things that made you fall in love with it? Like, what were the things? Because obviously you did have those frustrations as you were going through like Wave Ocean or whatever, or you got good at them, right? So what were the things, I guess since we're starting with Sonic Story, what were the things that like brought it to life to you? And you were like, well, no, like it's like I feel fine having to like deal with these things that obviously for most people they either put them off, or if it's someone like me, I'm someone who I'm just like, okay, well I want to try to figure this out and like, I want to try to enjoy it. Did you just kind of naturally enjoy it?
Here's the thing about Sonic 06 that everyone needs to understand. It's that the game is heavily flawed. And objectively, it should not have released in the state it did. But, god damn it, the game has aura.
And it does have aura. I agree.
And so it's just like, it just has like a vibe that I just want to live in.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with you because I actually quite like. I mean, the music, of course. Like, it just like, even if I'm getting lost in those hub worlds, the music, I'm just like, man, because like that's the thing I talked about earlier, where I was like, Sonic 06 has like to me, if it was like done and I like I didn't have all these frustrations, or like if the silver medals did stuff, or like if the gems like function properly, or if you didn't have a million loading screens, or like if the town was like a little more cohesive in terms of like I could better kind of understand where I am. Like the game, like its heart, I guess its beating heart is like something that I could adore, I feel like. And parts of it I do adore and really love it. Again, mostly the music. The music really like gives the whole thing soul. But just like I love the aesthetics of the levels. I think like pretty much all the levels are like some of my favorite just like level themes for any Sonic game. The music, of course, always brings it all to life. I love how the story is structured with like Sonic, Silver, and Shadow representing like the past, present, the future. I like how for Sonic Story, most people don't like this about it, but I like that it kind of is just its own thing, that Sonic is just kind of helping this girl, and it really doesn't have anything to do with the main plot until you learn about it in Silver Story or in Shadow Story, and all those different things. I love the ideas of like the friends being there and them helping out. I really love the eagle imagery that's all around like Soliana. Like it actually does feel even in this state, like the world is like a cohesive world that connects, even though you have a desert and a winter castle and all these things. Like the aesthetics they use and all the different like symbols they use actually do tie together quite well. I really love the concept of like Elisa's story. I really love the idea of like this poor girl who has been told like, bottle up all your feelings, don't emote or whatever, and just kind of deal with it, and then meet someone who kind of brings her out of that shell and then is able to give her that happiness, maybe even romantic feelings, obviously, those types of things. I just think the game has too many things about it that make me go, okay, I see what you're doing, but I'm just not feeling it. So that's kind of where I stand at, where it's like when I do connect with it and I'm like, okay, yeah, that like I'm in the flow state now in this level. This is fucking awesome. Or like, oh yeah, this cutscene looks like gorgeous. Like those moments, those really like bring it to life. But then I'm like playing like the Eggman boss, and he just takes forever to just do any of his attacks. And I'm getting a little sleepy.
Hey, I told you could one-shot him. I told you.
That's cheating.
Okay.
Also, I was bad at it. I tried. I couldn't do it.
But I guess for me the thing is like I just love literally everything about this game. Like I love how it looks, how it sounds, how it like I like just all of it. And so like I guess, and I mean again, I'm trying to remember things from a decade ago, but it's like I guess I just once you understand the game, once you and the game come to an understanding, and you learn like it's nonsense, then you just get to be in that world and be in like a flow state the whole time, and it just is nice, and you just get to be there, and I like that.
Yeah, for sure. What's your favorite part about like Sonic Story, would you say then?
Ooh.
Because I mean, obviously, I'm sure you like Silver Story the best. But like, is there any like obviously Sonic and Shadow make up that package? So is there anything about that story, like his story specifically, that you really resonate with? Because
Like
I
the
think you really
story
like
itself, or
right?
like the levels, or
No, I just mean like, is there a specific thing about his? I mean, they all share the same levels, right? They all, those things. But is there a specific like vibe about his story that stands out to you? And like, what is that? If you can place it?
it's just kind of chill. Like
Yeah,
Sonic
I agree.
story, like I'll be frank. Like I definitely prefer Silver and Shadow's stories narratively, um, with like the whole like end of the world time travel vibe. But with Sonic's story, it's just like he's just a hero going on an adventure with this girl. And I really like the message of, the if you have time to worry, then run.
Yes.
The idea of like, hey, if you are sitting here being anxious about something, well then if you can do that, then you can do something about it. And that like and I mean I've said this myself in the past. I think a lot of the cast in this game aren't mischaracterized, but they're kind of watered down. They don't have quite the same like banter and energy that they've had in things like the adventure games. Um, but even still, just those like moments where you have I think the Sonic and Elise stuff is not done particularly well. Um, but I can't deny that like it's I'm trying to figure I almost said it's not done particularly well, but you can't deny that it's done well. But it doesn't make any sense. But
I mean, again, the music carries a lot of it.
The music does carry a lot of it. Yeah, and obviously the ending cutscene is the greatest thing ever. It's
you mean,
perfect.
and you're meaning after they blow up the
yeah, when they blow up the thing, and Elise is like, well, if you have time to worry, then run. And then they jump, and this is fucking perfect, and I love it. And his world is playing, and it's great. Yeah, I don't know. I think Sonic story is just like, I mean, I guess if you were to say like what's the standout for Sonic story for me, it's that ending. I think there aren't quite as many like narrative defining moments as there are in Silver and Shadows. I guess maybe that whole area surrounding like Aquatic Base, because I really like how that level. I really like the transition from that level into the boss fight, and then like the standoff with Robotnik, and then into that final cutscene. I think all that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Also, wait.
Sonic.
I wait. We need to rewind a bit. What do you mean the gem shoes don't work? The gem shoes work fine.
No, I mean like they program it to where like the barometer doesn't go down. That's kind of the thing everyone always like exploits about it, so you can just use them infinitely.
Well, yes, but I think we've seen in Project 06, if the barometer goes down, a lot of them are kind of useless. Like that purple gem doesn't really do anything if you can use it for like 5 seconds, and then it just goes away.
We'll make it 7 seconds. But yeah,
look, yes, fair enough.
No, I mean, here's the thing. I do like that you can use them that way. Like, I don't think, like, sometimes there are quirks in games that you would keep even if it wasn't intentional. It's just once again a fact that it is broken. But I mean, that is a cool broken thing. That is a thing that actually works better now that it's broken. And things like that. Or like, I quite enjoy like when you do learn the mock speed sections, it is actually very fun to treat them as like kind of these like arcadey, like Sonic is like this kind of like bull that like won't stop for you, and you have to like really like try to navigate him because he's just going, and like when you do like master like the light speed dash and like knowing like when to use it and stuff, that can be a lot of fun, and I quite like that stuff. So like, especially whenever I had mastered Crisis City, like it is a amazing feeling to like be able to like, because that's like a 6-minute level basically. It is amazing to like just naturally go through all those different sections and just like nail it, and like earn that S rank, and so I think that's the thing about Sonic story that I would say is like when you like do like click with it, like whenever you do get in the flow state, the levels being so long, like I love that. And just the fact that this is just Sonic Adventure 3. It just obviously is. The fact that it in the same way as Sonic Adventure, where like you go into different sections, there's different music themes just for those sections. And it like crescendos and the music all adds to each other. Like I was listening to Kingdom Valley the other day, and just like the way it just has like all these different phases for each different section. And like Kingdom Valley just in general has like one of the most like amazing concepts for like any level I've ever seen. In like where it's like this like it's like this ancient kingdom and like underwater, and then it like goes into like a cut in half like waterfall that like has all these rainbows everywhere, and like the pieces are like curling into each other. It's like one of the most gorgeous like things I've ever seen in any game. And just one of my favorite like it's my favorite like Sonic thing ever, probably, in terms of like aesthetics. One of my favorite level aesthetics. All that stuff is just like incredible and just creates this like Sonic 06 wants to be epic, and I do think it feels epic. The only times I don't think it feels epic are just anytime you have to deal with like maybe like the normal cutscenes, or like they're literally like they call them like mascots, or like again like their heads just kind of like wobble around and they're like barely emoting. But sometimes they do emote, and that actually looks quite good. But when you're playing the levels and you're actually like in that flow state and stuff, the levels do feel cinematic. It does feel like you're always doing something really really cool. I think Sonic's level, obviously, he's going the fastest through those stages, and that really gives it that grand epic feeling. And like especially when you finish a level and you hear that acoustic version of his world, it just creates a feling that I don't know how to describe.
I'm having that shit played at my funeral. That's
yeah, no, it's gorgeous. I love that.
But no, I mean, also here's the thing, right? Like, I am not above exploiting the game's bullshit. Like,
and it's fun.
No, it is like you know, obviously with the gems, or with the egg wyvern. Like I said, audience, if you don't know this, you can beat that boss in one hit. I don't know how widely known this is, but yeah, if you just use the sky gem properly, you can just make him fly out of bounds and he'll kill himself. So that's fun. We'll get to something in Silver's story in a second where that I haven't done legitimately in a decade. But so I guess it's in the game, so I can do it.
Yeah.
I guess I guess one quick thing. How do you feel about Eggman's redesign? You like it?
I like it. I do think the giant like nipple pads do stand out, even if you don't go like, oh, they're big nipples. Like they do just stand out on his costume. Of like everything else is a little more reserved, and those just kind of being like these big bulky things, I do like stand out in a way that I don't think is like as enjoyable. But otherwise, I really love his design, and I also think it's like the best Mike Pollock performance for Eggman. Like when I read Archie Sonic, this is the voice I give him.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, the line that always sticks with me, I think it was probably just because like they said that in a kid's game, was when he goes, "Don't worry, they're not dead yet." Like, I love that line. Yeah, it's a good time, and I guess I should say, while this game is perfect, nothing can be perfectly perfect. Everything has to be a degree of perfect.
It's a good way to look at it.
I think the Sonic and Elise romance, like obviously the thing people always latch onto with is like, oh, it's a human and a hedgehog, isn't that fun? Like it's no, like the problem is that it's sauceless. Like there's no chemistry here. Like I don't know. I think that if you had given them like some banter, or if you maybe played it a bit more tongue in cheek, like I've said this years ago, I think if you had a scene of Elise legitimately going like, "Oh fuck, am I in love with a hedgehog?" Like I think, like I don't know, like, and honestly, one of the things I love about 06 is that it is so entirely sincere and it plays itself so entirely straight.
Yeah, I don't think I need the game to undermine itself. I just think it's the unfortunate thing is that the game wanted to go for this very realistic style for the humans, and I do just think if they were a little more stylized, it would work a lot better, because I love the world. I like how the world works, but I do just think all the humans look hideous. Like I genuinely do not like looking at them. They are like freaky. All of them. I do not like any of them besides like Eggman. And even Eggman has the weird nipple plates, but like all the normal humans, they just move weird. They act weird. It's like it's trying to go for like Final Fantasy, and I just don't think it hit a good style for those humans. And then it doesn't help that the Sonic characters, again, they're mascotting around, so they're like bobbing their heads around and they're like barely falling off their body because they mocapped it and it looks weird. And so you're just like it just doesn't look like you guys are in the same room.
So you think even Elise looks weird?
Oh yeah, especially.
Oh.
I think her face is just like way too tiny, and then you compare that to Sonic, who has this massive head. Yeah, it just and also it's very like petite and defined. So again, she looks more like a person. And so when you have Sonic and he's just like, and he's not even like moving his mouth barely or like his eyes, you're just like, that's a mascot. You got to take the head off first, at least, before you can kiss the guy inside.
Yeah, no, like you said, I don't think they needed to undermine it. But I do think they needed a bit more banter. I think they needed to like you could have even interjected it into the levels. Like I don't know, I don't buy the romance, I guess is the thing. And I wish I did.
Yeah, and I like the idea of it. I just think I just think like one more scene would have done it, because most of their stuff is again subtextual, you know, of just like all the stuff that's going on. But it's like I think there needed to be a little bit more. Maybe like through the levels, if there was like some more banter between them, that could be fun, you know.
Yes.
It just kind of seems like, not that Sonic's disinterested, but it just sort of seems like he's just like, yeah, you know, he's doing his thing, which I mean, I think is what people like about it. It's like Sonic's just kind of doing his thing, but this girl, he just kind of like slightly seems to enjoy being around, and that's kind of cute. And then he's off on his other adventure because he's Sonic, and it's like, okay, I get the idea, but why though? I get why Elise likes him, but
I mean, how could you not?
but yeah, so that's Sonic's story. Do we want to move to Shadow next and then save the best for last?
Sure, but before we do, I did want to talk about just Elise in general.
Yeah, go for it.
Voiced by the lovely Lacey Chabert of Spectacular Spider-Man and Hallmark movie fame.
Which, by the way, I do like her voice acting. Actually, I don't think she's bad in the game.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I have come to truly adore Elise as like a representative of this game. Like I was very happy when she got that Sonic Channel story with Silver a few years back. But I think she's just kind of okay in this. Like like I mean I adore that moment at the end of Sonic's story, like I already said, where she's like, if you have time to worry, then run, right? But I think she's okay.
Yeah, that's cheeky. That's fun. Yeah.
But all right, yeah, but we can move on to Shadows. So this is the best Shadow, right? Like outside, like, you know, Archie aside, like in terms of games, like this is the best Shadow, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
He's so
yeah.
No, it's just like he's just so fucking good. Like he's calm and collected, but still heroic, and like he's just I love him. I love him so much. I miss him. Yeah, go on.
No, you're good. No, I mean everyone's talked about the story and how like good it is. And yeah, everyone's right.
Everyone is right. It is perfect.
Well, actually, real quick, could you talk about his gameplay? Because I would like to know what you think of that before I go into that. Sorry.
It's okay. It's a part of 06, so it is perfect. But again, we were talking about degrees of perfect before. I think there are aspects of it I like more than Silver's gameplay because it is closer to traditional Sonic format. But overall, I definitely prefer Silver's more because it's doing an entirely different thing. And I think it does that entirely different thing better than Shadow's story does, like the Sonic style of gameplay, because first of all, he's slower. So like whenever I'm like moving throughout the town as him, like I always just kind of like homing attack the whole way. Well, though, which is nice because he has a longer homing attack. And there are like a lot of like extra enemies in the way, which kind of breaks the flow. Like, because his levels are quite similar to Sonic's, but with the enemies. In terms of the vehicles, I don't dislike them, but I think they're I don't love them. I think like, I mean, with some exceptions, I think that like hang glider one is fine because it's just like you're just, it's just like a brief break from the level while you fly forward and shoot stuff. The car is, yeah, because it's like it's apparently made of rubber. I don't know if you noticed that in your playthrough.
Yes.
The motorcycle looks the motorcycle looks cool, but again, it's like so overall, Shadows is definitely like probably my I don't love it. But again, it is
Sonic
06.
Yeah. I think the big thing with Shadow's combat, or like his game levels that like irk me, is just his fucking homing attack. Because so often it wants to, like when you homing attack on an enemy, it seems to like then it wants to immediately jump into combat. But if you do it too early, which I mean, why wouldn't you be spam it? You want to hit the enemy. It should just work. But too often he will just stand in front of the enemy in the air, and then you'll be hitting the attack, and you're like, oh, I'm not doing any damage. And then you homing attack, and then he does the thing he always does for every attack, which is you hit the enemy, and then he takes like 1 full second to like bounce off, go back, and then you hit them again. So you hit the enemy, you're spamming your attacks, and you're like, oh, I'm not doing any damage. Okay, let go. He bounces off. Do it again. Oh, and now the enemy's dead. Okay, I gotta let go. He does his bounce off a thing. Then the enemy is far away, so you land on the ground, run over to him, do a little dash over there. Okay, the worm has moved slightly. Okay, bounce off. Okay, him again. Bounce off. Okay, go to the next enemy. Like that fucking ricochet. The people talk about this in like Frontiers. There's like that little delay. That delay is so bad, and it just kills all flow that Shadow has in the game, because every time I'm trying to kill an enemy, it is just oh shit, it didn't hurt. Okay, 1 sec. And you just do that ad infinitum. I hate his combat so much.
I guess I've played this game hours and hours and hours, so I've just kind of got the timing down, like of like, okay, you gotta wait, you gotta like hold jump in the air to get more height, and then you hit at the right time, and then you gotta throw a chaos spear to keep yourself in the air longer, and then you hit him again, and then like so I just, again, it's like I brute forced myself into mastering this game.
Yeah, so you wanted to understand it because it's vibe, and it's just like the things that were there when you got it, like they were so fun.
Yes.
What do you think? What do you think is a thing about 06? This is more a broad topic, but you could use Shadow as an example if you want. What do you think about 06 as a game, considering all the things that people don't like about it? That like you said, like the vibe, obviously. But what are things like when you're playing like Shadow Story that remind you like, yeah, this is just like my favorite game ever? Like, what's something about this game that only it does?
Again, it is so sincere. Like, and it's something people make fun of it for, but like the fact that you have a scene where it's my favorite scene in Shadow's story, probably. I'd say I maybe even like it more than the ending, controversial opinion, where Shadow and Mephiles are facing off in Flame Core, and you've got Shadow in a laser cage T-posing over here, and he's saying like, oh, come with me and we'll be awesome evil guys together. And Shadow is, again, so genuinely just like, no, I will do what I have to do. Like, and, and then the music crescendos, and probably one of my favorite pieces of music in the entire game is the short orchestral All Hail Shadow. I think just like, it's fucking epic, dude. Like, this game is exactly what I want Sonic to be. And it reminds me of that frequently when I'm playing it. And because like I think just in general, like if I just look at like any of the marketing or any of like the stuff, it's like, yeah, all the characters are there. Silver's there, obviously, like he's my favorite or whatever, and Mephiles is my favorite villain or whatever. But like, the characters are all there, they're all working together, they're all fighting this big world-ending threat. everyone's taking it seriously. There's this underlying lore of this place they're in. Like, I mean, like, honestly, it's not too dissimilar to the things that made me gravitate towards Archie. Like, is just like, it's got,
I can see that.
Yeah, it's just like we're taking these characters, and it's like a very like comic booky way that we're using them. Like a lot of the stuff in this game feels like a superhero movie. And I don't know. I don't know what point I was trying to make, but hopefully you got something out of everything I just said.
Very good. Yeah, and of course, like Shadow Story, again, people have talked about it to death of just how good it is and how much people really enjoy it. Just what it does for his character, and yeah, like all the moments that people liked about the Shadow Story, I also enjoyed as I was playing it. I thought it was great. Heck yeah. Oh, I do want to give one giant massive praise for that story that I don't see really anyone talk about, which is like where people talk about feats of Sonic characters. Can we just talk about that Omega just fucking destroys Mephiles.
Oh yeah.
All on his own. But I just want to give genuine, like, amazing praise, because this is just something that's just so good for the game, which is that because they have the plot point. I always knew, because I just forgotten about this, but they always have the plot point, obviously, of Omega is the one who captures Shadow in the future, right? And so that's like a big thing. Now, as a story point, that's just kind of like, okay, cool. Like, that sucks. That's a cool thing for their characters, show how much they mean to each other. But then you actually feel it when you play the game, because what the game does is it sends Omega into the future to help Shadow. And then rather than having it be that like Omega comes in and then he's like a party member, you actually defeat Mephiles, the whole boss fight, as Omega. You fucking destroy him. So when he says like, yeah, you have the power to defeat Shadow, you believe it, because you just fought evil Dark Shadow as Omega. And he even gets like the victory animation. It's not just like Shadow gets the victory animation and like Omega's there. No, Omega gets the full victory animation for fighting Mephiles, and he gets like the ending quote, and he gets the ranking. So like whenever it's like, oh yeah, like I'm the one who defeats you in the future, you're like, oh no, I buy it. I completely buy that. And that's just like genuinely like great use of the video game medium to make you feel how strong Omega is and how much that means to the narrative. So I just want to give like full unabashed praise. That's great. So.
Oh yeah. Well, and I mean it's great because like the Shadow Mephiles boss fight is like, how do I put this? It's tedious, and it's supposed to be tedious. Because you have to smack around these little guys to build up your gauge, so that way you could Chaos Blast and then get him out and then be able to finally hit him. Whereas with Omega, you come in and you just wreck his shit. Like,
oh yeah, you feel really powerful.
Yeah. Also, although you mentioned the Omega plot, I guess I do have to say, like, look, guys, just don't think about the time travel too hard. It doesn't make sense, and that's okay. Because
don't worry about it. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me at all, because it's just one of those things where it's like time travel plot holes like that only really bother me if like there's something really important that if there's something really important emotionally, narratively, that I feel like you lose without it. But like considering these games are just so campy at all, anyway, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. I don't care. To me, it's like it's one of those things where it's like, all right, cool, points to you that you pointed out that like, how does this emerald exist here if it was with Elise the whole time and not in the other games? I don't fucking care. Like that's just fun of Sonic games, is that they're just kind of their own little separate universes, or at least they used to be. But yeah, the game's doing it because it wants to do it for that. So there you go.
How do you feel about Omega's voice?
It's really annoying.
Aw.
Yeah. I'm not even like, oh, I need his hero's voice back. But I just think the really hype, I am a robot, this is my voice. I'm like, okay. But why though? Why'd they do that to you? Why'd they just give you I am a robot voice? Like that is the stereotypical voice that people do to make fun of robots. Hello, I am a robot. That is the voice he has. Not for me.
Here's the thing. I think that with 06, while there are obviously things I don't like about the game, I think when you are talking about my love for the game, it's like cyclical. Like obviously I love the game because of the things it has in it. And then like because I love the game, the things in it I love more. So it's like for me it's just like, yeah, this is how Omega sounds. It's fine. Like,
oh yeah, no, that's love. That is literally the way love works, which is that, yeah, like the things about a person that are either like neutral or most people might not enjoy, you see obviously the best side of them or the best thing about them, and so that feeds into appreciating those things, not in terms of like, oh, you overlook them, but just more of like, it's like, no, well, that's just how they are, that's just how this is, so yeah, I definitely understand that. So
yeah, but yeah, Shadow Story is great. I think the dynamics between Team Dark that you see in the latter half of it are great. The fact that it's
and I also wanted to say, sorry, I wanted to say that I think it's very good that like the thing that works really well about it is that you have like you constantly are switching to Omega and Rouge, even in like the hub worlds or even like going to different levels. So it really does feel like they are a team. Whereas like Sonic and Tails, like with Knuckles in them, it's like Knuckles is just in the game and he's just here. Like he doesn't add anything. He's just around, and he just is in the levels. And Tails is just here and he goes to Wave Ocean and he goes, drat, nothing happened. Bye. But like with like Rouge and Omega, they are constantly like, okay, we have to go do this plan. Okay, we have to go here to do this thing. Okay, we got to go back up Shadow here. And so like it genuinely does feel like they're a team. which is great. I really, really like that. So
Yeah, no, it's great. The fact that it's basically the conclusion of Shadow's arc across like from SA2 to Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, and now this is great. I have to assume that was intentional because on the one hand, '06 is and I'm sure they've even said it. I'm sure they've even said as much. Was meant to be kind of like a semi reboot, like, but I mean, Shadow's a fucking good guy here, and he's working for Gun. Like, I like that. I assume that had to be somewhat intentional.
Yeah.
which I appreciate. Because I was actually thinking about this earlier. You know, the whole crux of this game is that Shadow is that Mephiles is trying to like tempt Shadow over to the dark side, but at no point does it ever work. Like no point at no point does it ever even come close to working. And you could see that as like a weird thing narratively, but if you look at it as like a broader piece of storytelling across like multiple games, it's like it's Shadow going like, nah, I've been down this road before. Like I'm not doing that again. Like I'm a good guy now.
Oh yeah. No, it's just no, I mean those types of stories exist where it's not about like, oh, is Superman actually gonna do something bad? It's like, no, you want to see Superman do what he always does. Like if you again, ideally with any character, if you love them, then the goal is that you're rooting for them. So when you see Shadow like have these temptations or like have people talk to him, you don't want him to fall into temptation. You want to see him be like cool and stand who he is and fight back, even if he has moments where he's not saying much or whatever. You want to believe like, oh, it's like, oh, but Shadow knows who he is, and then he does, and then that's supposed to feel good. And I think it feels quite good for Shadow. I don't really need to see him struggle with it because the whole idea is that it is empowering that he does not struggle with it, that he does that he already went through that kind of stuff throughout his journey. So I think that's all very good. So
fuck that.
Also, just the concept of like Mephiles and how he's like he's the main villain of the game, but he is designed like Shadow, and he's like Shadow. Like all that stuff is just awesome. Great ideas. So
yes. Well, we'll get to Mephiles in a second, but I do just want to say again, God, that orchestral version of All Hail Shadow is so fucking good. And I'm so happy that a fan made a full version of it. You know, I'm gonna look it up right now so I can shout them out so everyone can go listen to it because it is great and it's everything I've ever wanted. And it's wonderful. Hold on, no, Hail Shadow Orchestra, D Senji. Go listen to that if you haven't. It's fucking awesome. But yeah, Mephiles, my beautiful spiky boy. I love him, and I love how he is a dark mirror to Shadow in like every way. I love that he is, you know, because obviously like he is a lab experiment that was made to, you know, save a dying loved one by an old man with white hair that was imprisoned for an extended period of time and then broke out and tried to do evil things. The difference is Mephiles sucks. Like, and I think that's an interesting thing. It's almost a bit of like a missed opportunity. Like I think if you were to like rewrite this story or try and retell this story, I think it'd be interesting to delve more into this. Not that I think it's a problem that it doesn't, because honestly, I think Mephiles works pretty well. It's just like he just sucks. Oh yeah. So I think it'd almost be interesting for Shadow to like notice the parallels and go like, no, you're like me. Like you can be like me, and have Mephiles be like, no, I just want to be evil, dude. Like, because they even say it towards the end. Like, because you know, you could misinterpret the idea of like, you know, Mephiles wants revenge because he was put in the lab and poked with sticks and then locked away in a dildo for 10 years. But then Shadow's like, no, the exact line is something like, you have no desire for revenge. You only crave destruction. Like, he just sucks. Like, which is why I think his return in Shadow Generations was so impactful, and I talked about that there, where it's like he realized, like, actually, just sucking led me to be in like a dark hole in the corner of the timeline for a long time, and I don't like that. But that's a discussion for another time that we already had. Go listen to it. But no, I mean, and I guess here's the thing about Mephiles. He is not that deep. Like I make no such claims that he is. But
I don't think that's a problem at all. I like my typical just evil villains. I think they're fun because if you really nail one of those guys, they feel so satisfying to fucking punch. So, yeah, well, they're just really enjoyable to just see be evil, you know. Especially because I think Dan Green does a really good job with the voice. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing is like Mephiles, like Mephiles truly was like the proto Infinite, but without all the things that made Infinite not great. It's
He
just that
also
he
he
has
also benefits from the mocap because he looks like a horrifying, creepy doll.
yes, yes, like his his movements are very creepy in a cool way. But like no, he has a dope design, a dope voice. His theme song. Obviously, you have Mephiles Whisper that plays during the cutscenes, but then you during the actual boss fights, there's like this like not dubstep, but there's this like synth that plays the like dun, 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 dun. I really like that. That just is cool. And I think he's the perfect villain for like a big epic story like this. Um, and I like him, and I'm glad he came back, and I hope he comes back some more. Yeah. What? Well, never mind. I'll save this. Do you have anything else to say about Shadow Story?
No, I think it's good to move on from there.
Well, and the ending's great. But of course, the ending's great. Everyone knows the ending's great. We can, yeah.
Yes.
But okay, so then it's time for. Is it time for my boy?
I think it's time.
So, Ian, how did you feel about Silver's story?
I quite enjoyed it, actually. I came away from it feeling like, oh, I get Silver. I like Silver now. Like obviously I like him in Archie, but he's his own character there. But just like game Silver and kind of like, people talk about like they don't really like kind of more goofy Silver. They want him to be a little more serious. And I definitely felt playing this game that I got that mix that I think like people are looking for. Like obviously it's his first appearance, so it is how he's supposed to be. But like I really like Silver. Like I really bought everything he did. I did not feel like, oh, you stupid because he's following the evil guy. Everyone around him looks evil. He's just hanging out with a hot cat. That's all he's got. So it is what it is. So he's just hanging out, and I don't know. I really love like the moment where he's in the desert and he's like, "Wow, this desert's so fucking pretty," and Amy's like, "You're stupid. It's a desert." But it's so nice of you. Just all the stuff with Silver. Like I feel like his journey feels like Sonic's supposed to be very static. Shadow's about like kind of confronting him with the past, but he doesn't, flinch, and he becomes more resolute. And then Silver's the one who actually like goes through a character arc, and he kind of becomes the hero he wants to be. And I think it's actually just really well done, like all the way through for his story. I just quite like Silver, and I also just enjoyed playing him. As a kid, he was the one who I was always most excited because I just love the physics system that he has to deal with. And while it is again quite jank to try to like figure out, like for example, like if you just grab a bunch of items and you toss them, then they just like fucking bump into each other, and then you have to grab them again, or they have to respawn, or it hits you. But once you understand like what you're doing with that, and you can get into the flow state of Silver. I remember there was like a part where I was in Crisis Core or Crisis Canyon or whatever.
Crisis Canyon,
whatever it's called. I don't know.
Flame Core.
Yeah, that place. Yeah, I was in there, and and I was at the part where you have to fight like a horde of enemies to get a door open. And I was like grabbing weapons, tossing them. There was like I did like my little slap, and then like it was fun to like learn like when to time the slap so you wouldn't get hurt. And then I loved like basically I was like killing all these enemies, grabbing all these boxes. I threw like an exploding box that like stunned everybody, grabbed all those enemies, and then it's so satisfying to like grab all the enemies and then let go, and then they just all explode. And then there was an enemy who was coming to the right, so I grabbed another enemy, tossed him at that guy, and then finally there was the big dude blocking the door. I was like, "Do it, dude! I'm fucking ready for it," because I was just in the flow state. And he grabs the giant ball, he tosses at me. I grab the ball, toss it back at him, and he just fucking explodes. And I was like, "Yes, I am Silver the Hedgehog." So, so I had quite a lot of fun with his gameplay.
Yeah, I like Silver's gameplay. I think the fact that he's slower than the other two is really only a problem in the hub worlds. And even then, one thing I forgot to mention in Shadow's story is I think it's funny. Everyone complains about the Silver the Hedgehog boss fight in Sonic's story. In Shadow's story, it's 100 times worse because even if you play it right, Shadow is so slow that Silver, if you just try and like hit him and run away, Silver will get back up and grab you before you can get away. So to play when you're playing the Silver boss fight as Shadow, I mean, I don't know how you did this, Ian. You have to like hit him and then jump and try and angle the camera away and homing attack away from him to be able to clear enough distance.
Oh yeah. No, that was actually like, it was actually fun doing because like I really don't have any fun with the Sonic versus Silver fight because it's just either you spam or you just have to run around and the camera won't fucking lock onto him. Really annoying. But like the actual like Shadow versus Silver fight, I actually felt like it was a legitimate fight because it felt like, one, if he caught you, you could get away. And then if you were playing as Silver, like it actually felt like Shadow was like really on your ass, and like
Yes.
you actually felt like you had to defeat them. So I genuinely liked those boss fights. I don't know if that's a hot take, even among people who like the game.
I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on that boss fight. I love that scene, which I guess we can. Whatever. I'll be all over the place with Silver because he's my boy. I do love that scene. The Shadow and Silver confrontation. I know everyone only remembers the head kick, but like when they have the Chaos Emeralds and they go to like hit each other. I've always been a little unclear on what they're trying to do when they're like doing the chaos control there.
I think it's that Shadow uses it to like freeze time or like slow it down. So like Silver's like, fuck it, I'll do it too. And then Shadow's like, yeah, okay, bitch boy. And then they do it at the same time and it unlocks time travel.
No. I mean like physically, because like their arms cross as they do it. Like so it's always been unclear to me, like, are you guys trying to like hit each other? Because it doesn't look like you're doing it that hard. If you are,
I think
like,
it's to look cool.
It is to look cool, and it does look cool.
I mean, legitimately, I do think like in the moment, it's just one of those things where it's like they're just fucking locked in, bro, and they're just like, oh, chaos control. They fucking lift their hands up, and then they cross arms because they're in love, and then they create the time portal.
Yeah, no, it's that's it's great. And yeah, I guess in terms of Silver's gameplay, that was how I got into that whole thing. It gets infinitely better once you get that Psyshock move. It's Psyshock or Psycho Shock? I don't remember.
It's the slam.
Yeah. Because then you don't have to get like super up close to enemies to try and stun them.
Yeah. And it is genuinely like a fun flow state to like fly over to an enemy, slam down, grab them, jump in the air, throw them, do all that. Like it is actually like fun to play as Silver. That's where like Shadow surprised me because I was like, Shadow actually feels more stop and start than Silver does.
Yes. Yeah, no. I mean, obviously I love, like, he's my boy. Well, I guess, okay, no, we need to talk about this. Dusty Desert. You said you did it on your first try?
Yes, I did.
How?
That's a good question. I just did the ball puzzle and I was like, all right. Well, it was funny too, because I did the ball puzzle and I was like, I am not doing the fucking ball puzzle. I know there's a glitch. I'm just gonna go to the end and just skip it. And I tried to do it and I couldn't do it because I suck at glitches. So I was decided to run all the way back and I'm like, all right, here we go. So we're gonna be for the rest of the day. And I did it in one shot.
It's so because I was like, there's another Sonic YouTuber. It was Chari5. He said like, oh yeah, I did this on my first try, but like, here's a shout out to everyone who said they had a lot of trouble with it. It's like, how the fuck are you people real? Now here's the, to be fair, like, I have not legitimately done that level in years. I always just do the glitch. I know I'm a fake fan. I'm sorry, internet. I'm sorry. But so maybe if I really put my mind to it, I could do it. But oh boy. So that's not the best. And then I will say Silver's Egg Genesis does make me want to die.
Yeah. No.
Just because the camera, like, because you're trying to run away from this guy so that way you can get the boxes and throw them, and then the camera is just not, you can't see yourself, and then you fucking died. It's awful. Actually, wait, didn't you say you didn't like any of the boss fights in the game? Or you said like, well, then you mentioned one before. You said you liked the Silver and Shadow one, but like, I remember when you said you played Sonic Story, you didn't like any of the boss fights?
Yeah, because the Silver one was really annoying. The Egg Genesis one, you just cheese it and it's over. So that wasn't very fun. What's the other one you do? Oh yeah, the Iblis worm was just horrendous.
Did you actually wait for the stalagmites to fall down?
No, I did like the little thing where you can just kind of jump over, and even then he would just like fucking spam the like bombs from the air, and it's like, okay, I'm trying to dodge this, I'm trying to get around this, and then it would just fall off. Or like, for example, I would like wait in front of it, and then I'd be like, okay, he's gonna come and he's gonna bump into it, but then like it would like hit me, and then I would like fall off, and I'm like, okay, but I was like up there, like he stops in front of the thing, like it just, I don't know, at every corner, even when I tried to speedrun it, it was just being really janky. And then of course, like obviously again, Sonic's coming attack, you dash and then he magnetizes to the floor. So like I would try to like dash away from the guy and then he would like magnetize into lava and then I would jump back up and then he'd fucking hit me. So yeah, that one just took forever. I did get a little better at it with Shadow, but again, it still like takes so much. Yeah, I do know about the the strategy where you can kind of like get to them a lot faster. Maybe I just had really bad luck.
Yeah, you just damage boost across the lava.
Yeah, and then I didn't really have too much fun with like the egg wyvern because he just takes so long to actually like attack you. And also just anytime I try to like drag him into the debris, it just wouldn't do anything. Same with Egg Cerberus, where it's like I know what I'm supposed to drag you into, but he just keeps moving out of the way. It's like, okay, well maybe I have to round about the corner. It's like, okay, you round about the corner, and it's like it finally does it. So yeah, no, the bosses they never did it for me. But I did like all of Silver's bosses, especially like his final boss with Iblis. I really liked that one. I felt that one felt like genuinely like very climactic. I liked his first fight. So basically like any Silver fight I enjoyed, and then Shadows fights. I mean they're mostly just Sonic fights as well. They were okay. They were hit or miss. Sonic's ones I thought were the worst, but Silver's fight again. That's where like Silver's story. If he was just like a little faster, I think I would have liked him the most. But he's very close with Sonic for me. So,
yeah, you don't like Egg Cerberus? He looks like a Zoid. Remember Zoids?
no,
You don't remember Zoids?
no.
Audience, please tell me someone remembers Zoids. They're these robot animals, and there was a game on the GameCube where they all fought each other. It was cool. And there was the one on the cover was like a lion, and he looked just like the Egg Cerberus. Ian, I'm gonna fucking send this to you right now. I'm gonna fucking. You look so stupid. You're gonna cry and pee yourself with how stupid you're about to look. Without how similar this thing looks to a Zoid. Here we are. Get this one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm sending. Yeah, you're like so. Yeah. You feel, Ian? Are you prepared to look stupid?
Yeah.
Okay. There. I'm sending you the Zoid now. This one on the bottom, the one on the bottom of the screen, and it's on the cover of the game. There's that looks just like the fucking egg Cerberus, doesn't it?
Yeah, that looks like exactly like it.
Yeah. Don't you feel dumb?
I thought you were talking about the Noid.
What? The fuck do you mean the Noid?
Like the pizza mascot, the Noid.
No, I know what the Noid is.
Oh,
Why
okay.
would I
think
it look like Egg Cerberus?
Yeah, I thought that's what you were talking about.
It's a completely different thing. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Sometimes completely different things are similar.
Ian. Anyway, I will say, Silver's final boss, I like it now. When I first played it, it's very. I didn't understand that I was supposed to catch the big ball. Like it makes.
That's awesome.
Because he makes a big fucking ball, and like.
Wow, I mean, that's very sweet though. That means even you underestimated how fucking cool Silver is.
That is true. Yeah, and then you throw it back and it's cool. Well, let me check my notes. I mean, obviously, this is where we got the birth of Sylvaise. And I think all of us Sylvaise fans can admit, there's not much there in this game.
Uh-huh.
But there's some.
It's mostly via like the levels, I feel like.
Oh, certainly.
Like when you switch to them or they kind of talk to each other. I think that's kind of where I most felt it. But I really do feel like that's kind of this game in a nutshell is like, in order for me, I think, to completely fall in love with it, I think most of the stories, besides like Shadows, just needed like that one extra scene. So it's like, I need like that one extra scene of like Silver and Blaze being buddies. Or like I need that one extra scene of like Sonic and Elise like being cute together. And I feel like those would have bridged the gap for me, where it's like I can like see all the stuff that's here. Like I can see why people like Silver and Blaze. I can see why it like hits for people, but it's like I can't grasp it because I feel like there's just one thing missing, one thing that would have brought it together. But I don't think it's like not there. I guess I don't think it's like impossible to see it or feel it again, especially with the music, especially with the character designs and things like that. But it's just like, man, if there's just like one more thing, I think I could have really got into it. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did you ever hear the fan theory about Blaze in this game?
What is that?
So basically, the idea was, and maybe I'm going to butcher this. The idea was people said like, because obviously when you think about it, Blaze's inclusion in this game doesn't make any sense when you consider that Sonic Rush came out a year prior and she has a completely different backstory. So what people theorized was that Silver in the future found like some ancient document of like Blaze, and that Blaze is basically like his imaginary friend. Because you'll notice in this game, Blaze never talks to anyone but Silver.
Yeah.
Now, I don't believe that because I mean, first of all, she fucking dies at the end to save the world. So unless that's all in Silver's head, but it's neat. I remembered it, so I figured I'd mention it.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that one. Yeah, I don't think that's true, but it is a good point that she does not talk to anyone. That is funny.
Yeah, I think
well, also it's like when you remember that literally the only thing Sonic ever says to Amy in this game is "Thanks, Amy. I appreciate it," and that's literally it. And they never interact ever again in the entire game.
That's true. Maybe Amy's not real either.
Yeah, she's not real.
All of Silver's friends are
around
fake.
Silver is fake. He's that lonely. He created the Sonic franchise. Sonic's not real either.
Oh no! Oh.
He does have psychic powers.
He does. It's true. But oh fuck. Oh jeez, I feel like I had another point about Silver's story, but the ending. I like the ending. Again, even with us Sylvain fans, we gotta take our crumbs where we can get them, and that's a big crumb. You know, she's like, you're naive, but I like that about you, and then she fucking goes in the sky and blows up and dies.
Well, the actress does it well. She's like, I've always liked that about you.
Oh yeah,
like, I feel like you buy it.
Yeah, no. Genuinely, I love the ending of Silver's story.
I also like Silver's voice. I think the guy who plays him did a really good job of like hitting the different layers of him, like when he's serious and he's cool, when he's like, wow, that's amazing.
The guy who plays him.
Yeah.
Say his name, Ian.
Patrick.
You fucking piece of shit. You remember Jason Griffith's name?
Well, yeah, because I'm Jason Griffith, but Pete Capella, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he does a good job.
Have you ever seen that interview where it's Pete Capella and Jason Griffith, and I don't know, it was like a podcast or something where they had like some fan submitted questions, and a fan was like, "Do you guys consider your voices for the characters to be the definitive versions?" And Jason gives this answer of like, no, Sonic's the long lineage, and like, there are people before me, people after me, and I'm just happy that I got to represent him for the time. And then you see the look on Pete's face where he's like, am I about to do this? And then he just goes like, yes. Which is
a lot
cool.
for him to say something like that. I like it and not get people mad,
No, yeah. Well, he's like, look, I created the voice, and the people come after me are emulating it, and like that's like, but yeah, it was anyway, yeah, you're right, Pete Capella, and I did know the lady who played Blaze. Now I'm the fake fan. I don't, but they do great. And that ending genuinely gets me a bit teary-eyed at times. It's not, I mean, probably not as much anymore because I've seen it like 100 times, but no, it genuinely like strikes a chord with me. It is sweet, and I think, like you said, Ian, I think it would hit just a little bit harder if we got a little bit more, like one extra scene of Silver and Blaze. But I think what we have is good. I like that scene they have before they go into Flame Core, where it's like, you got a plan, like, okay, well, then let's get going. And then they just like walk off together. It's cool.
Yeah.
Though I do wonder if I mean, the reason they have to do this is because it's a game and they had to have a final level and a final boss. But I do wonder if there's meant to be like some thematic reason why they don't just change the past. Like, because Silver says before that, he's like, I figured out what we need to do. We don't have to change the past. But you could also just change the past.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a thing of like they got to fight.
Yeah,
they got a villain in like the past, present, and the future, and ultimately they literally do change the past. So
yes, it's literally in your theme song, man. If you were able, would you go change the past to mend a faux pas with one last chance?
Yeah,
it's kind of a slant
I mean,
line.
I think the idea is supposed to be like we shouldn't be messing around with like things we don't understand. Instead, we can just save the world now. It also helps that Silver's plan is to self-sacrifice anyway.
Yes.
So I think it's more. I think mostly the idea is about, instead of like placing all the burden on someone else, like Sonic or like whatever, we had to find Mephiles or we have to do something in the past. He's like, you know what, I'll take on that burden, and it's kind of like his hero's thing. But then obviously because like he's not like a royal soul or whatever the fuck, and Blaze is like, I technically am in another game. That he can't accept it. And it's a tragedy for him. So, but yeah, I think that's just mostly it. Is he's like, let's try to make a good future now rather than like trying to go to the past and like figure things out.
Okay, speaking of, I've always thought it would be cool if Mephiles came back in another game for it to be revealed that like Blaze had like Iblis like imprinted on her soul or something from this, and so that way like she still has like a piece of Iblis in her. And then Garrulous64, that motherfucker, did like a Sonic video where he was like, "Hey, what if Mephiles came back and he did that?" I was like, I came up with that idea first. I just never said it out loud. Piece of shit. I'm kidding. Awesome. By the way,
we should get you on the the podcast.
It should. But anyway, that's cool. I guess before we get into the last story, because the credits themes, I never skip the credits for these. Oh, well, that's not true. Okay, I listened to because for all three stories, it does the kind of like story theme, and then it does his world. So like Sonic story, it does sweet dreams, and then it does his world, and then Silver and Shadow also do that, where they do dreams of absolution, then his world, and then all hail Shadow, and then his world. I always listen to the first song. Is the one I'm getting at. Yeah, favorite character theme.
His world. I love his world. That's just always been probably just like my favorite Sonic theme. I mean, Endless Possibilities is like very close, but I don't know. Something just about his world, especially like the long version, and where like just think how long it is, and then just the section where it just kind of goes into the instrumental version. Also, there's like so many different variants of it in this game that like really just cemented of just like, I don't know. It just like that's one of those things where, again, I've said a million times that with Sonic stories, especially the games, I've just never really been attached to Sonic, and the ways people talk about Sonic and Sonic characters and how much they mean to them, I just don't feel that from the characters. But I do feel that when I listen to their music. Like I've always just adored Sonic music. And so like when I hear his world, I feel like that version of Sonic who just like is this ethereal being who just exists and does his thing and just has like this impalpable or this unfeelable just energy about him that you can't quite, unquantifiable, energy about him that you just can't quite put your finger on, but you're just like drawn to him. And then I love Dreams of an Absolution second. Just because I just think that song is just awesome, and I really just haven't heard anything like it. I'm sure it's like in a genre, obviously, but just like the way it's done and just things that sound similar to it, just I don't know, I just really love it. And then All Hail Shadow is great, but nothing's gonna top the Magnify version. Sorry, Crash 40.
Oh, really? You like the Magnify version more?
Oh yeah, I love the Magnify version so much. But I just really love how like just more, I just like grungy it feels like. Like for example, the Crash 40 version is like All Hail Shadow. It sounds proper. Whereas like the Magnify version is like All Hail Shadow. like
yeah.
It just like there's just belts in it, and I love that. So
I
the 40 version, of course. And then I don't know if this is a hot take, but I actually genuinely like Sweet Dreams. I think it sounds great, and I like vibing to it. And yeah, it's just a whole song about Elise and Sonic making out in the sand, which is good for them. So.
Everyone likes Sweet Dreams. They just pretend they don't because they go like, "Oh, Elise," but it's an objectively great song.
I love that song. So
no, yeah, his world is great. The version of it that plays during the cutscenes, I think it's literally just called like Sonic Appears, is perfect. Is like the perfect like background music for Sonic. I mean, obviously, I love Dreams of Absolution. I made a whole video about how much I love Dreams of Absolution. It was a series I made one episode of, and then I was like, I'm gonna make a bunch more of these, and I didn't. But the Dreams of Absolution one's still up. If you want to go watch it, it's fun. Anyway, it's about a breakup, true story.
Yes.
But what was the point? I don't know. I like Dreams of Absolution. I will say the one thing I don't care for in both His World and Dreams of Absolution kind of do this. But Dreams of Absolution is a bit more forgivable because it's like not in the same genre. is that his world only does the chorus twice, and then it just kind of like fades out. Like, it has like a long like bridge. I don't know. I don't care much for that, but the rest of the song's really good. Though I don't know which version of his world is my favorite.
I really have a fondness for the super fast version. That's
Super
not like
fast version.
even played in the game. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know which one's my favorite. I do really love the fast version though.
What's the fast version?
Come on, let the fuse. He's a rocket and he's ready to go. Cause now the go. Like it goes like that basically the whole time.
Oh, the Zebrahead version.
Yeah, I love that version. So
probably the Zebrahead version is my favorite, but I love the Crush 4D one. Obviously, I love the one in this game, and I love all the orchestral versions of it. And All Hail Shadow. I don't know which version I like more. I think I like this one more. Again, it's a matter of the fact that it's in this game and it comes right off the end of Shadow's story, which is amazing. And Sweet Dreams is, I mean, again, I think honestly, I think the only, oddly, Silver's theme song, I think, is the least. No, I don't think that's it. I think all of the songs are very fitting for the ending they follow. Because Sonic's story, like, it ends with Sonic and Elise just chilling on like that in the grass, and then it goes into Sweet Dreams, which is very much like a chill song, and then All Hail Shadow is like a very triumphant song that plays after a very triumphant ending. And then Dreams Heaven Absolution, like it's like funky, but it's got very much like a darker undertone, and it plays after Silver's story. I don't know. I'm being slightly pretentious here, but I like the music. Is the point I'm getting at.
yeah.
Also, one thing I want to mention before we go into the final story, because I keep forgetting to talk about it. Ian, you mentioned the multiplayer. I played a lot of the multiplayer too when I was younger, and it's fun. I like freezing people as Silver. That was cool. And the music for the multiplayer menu is fucking jamming, and the people who made Project 06 knew that because they just made that the music that plays in the normal menu, which is really cool. So yeah. But yeah, and then
I guess before we talk about the last story, because then we can wrap up there. Do you want to talk about Project 06? Because I know there are a lot of 06 fans who maybe, I guess some of them probably resent it, but like some of them kind of feel like it's like, sure, like it's doing all these things to the game and it's adding all these different modes, or it's kind of reclaiming modes that like the game was supposed to have. But they still say like, no, but the original 06, I mean, obviously the original 06 has the story, like that, unless they add that or whatever. But like gameplay wise, some people say like, no, I love playing the original game more than Project 06 versions of these levels with with all the ways it controls and stuff. Do you have a similar opinion, or what are your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I vastly prefer the original game. Not like look, here's the thing. I don't begrudge Project 06 at all. Because it makes more people pay attention to 06. It makes more people pay attention to Silver and Shadow and that vibe and that music, and not the story, unfortunately. But like, it'll at least, I imagine it's at least piqued more people's interest to maybe, go watch the cutscenes or whatever.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And like, look, I guess, you know what, to be completely frank, yes, I love 06, and yes, I do think that some of the complaints are bitch baby shit, but like, it is a hard game to get into. So, if that's the version of 06 that people want to play and are able to get into, at least they're getting into a version of it.
Yeah, because the level design is still the same. It's still, I mean, it has a lot of the, it's got the same voice lines, obviously, for the levels and such. It even had, like, returns voice lines that were supposed to be in the game. And it, just in general, like, it helps make people, I guess, to appreciate it more because, if you're playing Project 06, you're not just like random. You didn't just like buy it in a store. Like you have to go out of your way to download and do all these things. So that invites you to be a part of the discussion of like, okay, I'm playing a good version of Sonic 06. What? And then that means people can talk about it and be like, well, actually, this thing was actually in the original game, or like, oh, like this is the same, or like, now you can kind of see like these ideas and stuff. Or maybe like, oh yeah, you should give the story a look if you were kind of like invested in like what they were talking about. So yeah, no, I definitely think it's just a boon for the series. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, it obviously doesn't replace the original game for me. But like the nice thing is, like, again, emulation's come a long way, so I can play, if I want to play 06 on my PC, I can just do that. It's not like if I want to play 06 on my PC, like that's the version I have to play, which was that way for a bit. And also we're getting a recomp this year, or people are working on a recomp, and the year just started, so I assume it'll come this year, but I don't know how that works, so maybe it'll take longer. But the point is, yeah, no, I think Project 06 is undeniably cool, but I think it is its own thing. I don't see it as like a replacement for 06.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I guess we can get into the last story. The is it my favorite end game for a Sonic game? SA2 has a really good one. I don't know, but yeah, it's fucking great. I love it. I love End of the World. The songs, they all have different, like all the different colored emeralds have different songs, and all the characters work together except Blaze because she's dead and Sonic because he's dead. And I love how all the characters get really depressed when Sonic dies, even Shadow. You know, Shadow and Sonic had this like big rivalry through all these games, but now Sonic's dead, and so Shadow's like, well, we can't do it because he's dead. The exact line is like, it might have been possible if he were still alive. There's a similar moment in Ben 10 where Kevin is going to help Ben, and he's like, Ben's done all this stuff, and more importantly, he's my best friend. Like just those moments of vulnerability from the rival characters is really cool, and the speech Silver gives is really cool. How he rallies everyone together is really cool. And the kiss is not super cool, but we're not going to talk about that. And then the fucking super transformation is literally the best super transformation in the entire series. Excalibur Sonic might be a little better, but it all depends. The super transformation is super cool. And then, yeah, I have more stuff. But Ian, do you have any stuff?
I just hate the lag so much, bro. I could not believe. I mean, it makes sense because there's just so much like the little orbs are appearing and all the enemies are like insta dying and everything around you is like flying around. But holy shit, dude! like trying to do the silver level and just like even just trying to jump and just have any amount of flow state, like it was fucking agony. But yeah, I mean, I love the idea of it. I love the music. I love all the concepts and stuff. I really love I like you said that Shadow line where he's like, it might have been possible if he was alive. I fucking love him. Oh god, I never told him. You know, that was all good. And yeah. Also, by the way, if Ian Flynn wrote that line, people would be fucking furious. They'd be like, what the fuck? It says in Shadow's theme song that he never loses confidence. Does Flynn have glasses? Huh? But you know, it is.
Yeah, that's true. But
yeah, no. And also like the final boss is fucking ridiculous. The fact that they like how do you do this? How do you make a final boss where you're supposed to start it and you're supposed to play as Silver? Like that's how you break down his defenses. And then you're supposed to go to Shadow and then Sonic. And then for the final round, you can play as all of them. And that's the really cool part. How do you program it that you start the fight and you're Sonic? And you go, oh, well, I'm Sonic. I should use Sonic, right? And then if you actually do intuitively go, well, you know what? Actually, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to vibe with the game. I'm going to turn into another character. You go, oh shit, maybe I should turn into Shadow because he's the other character. And you go, okay, I play Shadow. And you play Shadow and he can't do anything either. So you go, what the fuck? Then you play Silver and you go, what does Silver do? What do I do? What do I play? How do I play this fucking fight? And then you Google it and you realize, oh, the game starts you as Sonic and then you have to mash the triangle button to turn into fucking Silver. So why?
Sounds like a skill issue to me, bro. But
oh, this fucking game. But yeah, no, the final boss sucks. And the final
fucking whore.
But you know, I'm glad you like it.
What? Wait! I will not hear this. But I am sorry I called you a whore. But
no, it's funny. Say it again.
I don't know if I want to, but no, I will not hear this nonsense that the final boss sucks. The final boss is fucking awesome.
What's good about it?
It's aura. It's got so much aura, bro.
This is like one of the worst versions of like an instrumental version of a main theme. Like, get out of here.
What?
I think it just broke the Silver Ace.
What? What? Are you telling me Solaris Phase 2 is one of the worst instrumental versions of the main theme?
Reach for the Stars is better.
They're all good. Why can two legends not coexist?
Because it used to be my legend. I used to be like, oh yeah, the best one is obviously his world because I fucking love his world. But then I hear the instrumental and I'm like, this pithy instrumental version does not do my goat justice. What is this doing here? But no, it's really good. But you know, I just like endless possibilities and all those more. But you know, it is what it is. No, the final boss fucking blows. Once I, by the time I got to it, and I was just like, how do you?
You have a million rings and 3 characters you can switch between, and whenever you switch, the other characters regenerate rings. It's impossible to die, so you have time to experiment and figure out who to hit him with. And as long as you keep switching between them, you're not gonna die, and then it's fine. True. So what's the problem?
That's not true.
That is completely true.
I disagree.
Well, you're wrong. But the point is, So before we need to take a step back. We need to take a step back. Okay. So end of the world, right? Great final level. The only problem I have with it, Silver should be the final guy. I don't know why Shadow's the final guy.
Yeah, I agree.
But I digress. And then you have your epic super transformation. But obviously, End of the World is a difficult level. Like,
it took me a long unplayable level. It's lagging every second. There is not a single second of End of the World that is not lagging.
I knowingly played the game on inferior hardware, so it's the game's
fault. Let me just download it on my computer like a normal person. You know that's impossible.
I do know that's impossible. It's not impossible to find an Xbox 360.
Oh, look at me. Let's just buy an Xbox 360.
If I go on eBay right now, you probably
Master Race. Okay.
You could probably find an Xbox 360 for like $50. But point is,
I disagree.
I'm gonna, you know what? Let's find out. We'll go on eBay right now. Xbox 360. How much is it? Xbox 360 e-console. No hard drive, $54, free delivery.
Dang, you were $4 off. How do you feel?
Fucking piece of shit. But anyway, what was I saying? So End of the World. It's a difficult level, so you get through it. You're sweating bullets. You're like, whew. But then you see this awesome super transformation scene where the 3 hedgehogs, they've been at each other's throats the whole game, but you know what? They've come together and they fly off triumphantly, and you were like, fuck yes, your fist pump in the air, and they're gonna go kill this, they're gonna go kill God. And then you just fight him, and then you're like, hey, mom, this thing isn't working, but hey, I'm the characters in the background are telling me I need to press triangle, so I press triangle, and I go to the other guy, no, man, that doesn't work. Then you press triangle again, then you go to the other guy, no, this is working. And you just keep doing that, and the music's good, and then the characters in the background are cheering you on, and eventually you kill him, and then you get Solaris Phase 2, which looks awesome, and the music's awesome, and the people in the background are still cheering you on, and the 3 hedgehogs all have awesome lines where they're like Sonic has the coolest thing he's ever said, where he's like, the present day, it's time to take it back. Or Shadow goes like, I will release you from the chains of your past. And then Silver, it's simple but effective. He says, I will protect the future. He says you're the root of all our problems, and I will defeat you, Solaris. And then you switch between them, and you got to make sure you don't get hit by too many lasers. You got to make sure you're switching around a good bit, so that way your rings can replenish. And then you kill him, and it's awesome, and you're wrong.
Amen.
Exactly. Bitch.
This has been Sonic Comic Chaos. I've been your host, Silver Racer.
We're not done. But anyway, Ian being wrong aside, then we get to the end of the game, where again doesn't have quite the emotional impact it should, because Sonic and Elise, I don't really care about them romantically or platonically. But you know, it's a nice ending. It looks pretty. And, pardon?
No.
What?
Moving on.
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean no?
I said, what about physically? And you didn't hear me, so the joke was ruined.
Oh. I mean, they They
Uh-huh.
well, you know what? I will say the Sonic characters in this game look the best they've ever looked.
I really do love Sonic's 06 model. I really like the long quills.
They all look great. Like the eye shape, like they just look so good. But anyway, when we get to the end of the game, it's very well directed. Sonic goes to the festival, but the festival doesn't get fucked up this time. Then you see the non-destroyed moon. We won't talk about that. And it's great. And then it plays My Destiny, which is my favorite Sonic song. Because like obviously Sonic has a lot of great music, but nothing quite touches my heart like hearing My Destiny while it plays the montage of the moments throughout the game. And it's great, and I love it, and I love this game. Ian, what did you think of the ending?
I thought the ending worked just fine. I really like the final scene where he's running around on Soliana, and like they play the music, and he's like, "Whoa, there's the leaf. It's not a leaf, it's a feather." And she's like, "Smell Sonic," and he's like, "I smell her." And then
I smell it.
so I thought it was pretty good.
Well, I'm glad you thought it was pretty good, I guess. Why did we talk for 2 hours about a game that's 20 years old?
Is your favorite game?
It is my favorite game. My last note that I put in my like kind of like guidelines is just fuck. Because I love this game so much. And
yeah, I think that the overall thing that I think with this game is, it has the unquantifiable it factor, that brings people to love such a thing, to love a game that does fight you at every turn and does take a lot of time to love. But when you do love it, I can see why people really care about it. I mean, again, I have my games of like, because the best game I can always use an example is Kingdom Hearts 1, which I mean, most people, even in the Kingdom Hearts community, unless you love that game, people kind of like think it's like really janky, and like it's got really good story, but like the gameplay's not as fun, it's not as flashy, and all these things. It's got the most jank, it's got a most of like kind of obnoxious things that you have to deal with. But for me, when I play that game, when I do, like, I grew up with that game, so I know exactly what its tricks are. I know how to get around, like, it's very confusing level design. I really enjoy like some of the things that are kind of janky about it, because to me, what makes a game like pure in terms of like what you like, I can see why someone could fall in love with it, is the idea of like when I'm playing Kingdom Hearts, because I do know everything about it. There is no like lie when I'm playing it of like, oh god, now I have to like go through this or whatever. It's like, no, I am enjoying it, or like I am having fun with it. And if there are things that are problems with it, like you said, when you love the products, when you love the story so much and you love its soul, it's like, oh yeah, fucking Kingdom Hearts just has that moment and that fucking blows, but whatever, it's a part of it. So to me, it's like when you have a game to where like when you're playing 06, when you're enjoying it, you just are enjoying it. It's not like every second you're like, oh, that's annoying, that's annoying, that's annoying. It's like, no, you just actually are enjoying it because you understand it and you have taken the time to love it, and to understand what it's going for and what it's trying to be, and also like being able to actually enjoy that, because people kind of talk about like nostalgia and all those things, and I don't think that really holds up. I think like if you go back to something and it's not as fun as it used to be, you will just feel that. Like you'll have those feelings of like remembering how good it was, but that wouldn't compel you to keep playing it. And you do keep playing it, and a lot of people keep playing Sonic 06 and caring about it. So there's obviously something there. So yeah, and even if it's not conventional, even if it takes a lot of work to get there, and even if there are things that totally make sense why people, hated it, for me, I came away being like, I appreciate the game a lot more. It just doesn't connect to me in that way. But the things that it does connect about, and the things that I do like thinking about enjoying, I really do love, like the music, the moments like with some of the cutscenes, and even some of the flow state of just playing the game and like going through the levels and stuff. So I definitely came away from my experience with Sonic 06 really appreciating it a lot more. And I can see why so many people love it, even if I do think they're just, I think the conversation around 06, it hasn't reached Unleashed levels of delusion where people like no reason to dislike the Werehog. It's like, okay, well, whatever. Thankfully, I think the 06 crowd has stayed in a good place of like understanding. It's like, okay, there are reasons people hate it, but here are the reasons that I think those either aren't problems, they aren't big problems, and here are all the things that are really good. And I think that's like the best. That's the best way to be about these types of things, is you don't need to go all in on the angle of like, it's like, okay, I know it's bad, but I still like it. And you don't have to go the other angle. Like, it's not actually bad. What you should understand is, why do people think it's bad or good? And if you can understand why people think it's bad, then that'll allow you to point out why you think it's good, rather than just like blanket statements of like, well, you just don't get it. Or, you know what, actually, there are no problems. Or, you know what, it is the worst thing ever, but I just like it because I'm blind. Like, don't, give yourself more credit. If you like something, right, there's a reason you like it. Just kind of dissect why. So yeah, it was really fun to discuss.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could talk about 06 forever. I love this game to death. And yeah, I'm glad that I'm very happy that you played it. So I got to talk to another person about it who it was fresh in their mind. It's always fresh in my mind. So, yeah, I don't know. I like I said, audience, if anyone is still listening, I do want to do more 06 stuff this year. I think if we get to like June and I still haven't done anything, I think I'll just cheap out, and instead of like writing scripts or whatever, I'll just jot down some notes, because I had like some ideas for like some stuff. I don't know, Ian, I'll tell you off mic, but
alrighty.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I don't know. Still love 06. Still I'll probably keep loving 06, and genuinely, like, I am happy that the Sonic series is in a better place where we get more stuff like 06, if that makes sense. Because for the longest time, and even still, like, I mean, even still when I play this game, when I get to the ending, and my destiny is playing and the credits are rolling, like, it does genuinely touch my heart. And part of the reason it does that is it's like, man, I will never play anything quite like this again. And that's obviously true. Like, because part of that is like 06 is a whole package of like the voice cast, the music, the vibe, the story, the everything, like, and all those things aren't coming back. But like, I'm happy that the Sonic series is in a place where it is taking itself more seriously again, and we are bringing in more characters, and we are acknowledging canon, and we are doing more interesting stuff with the lore. So that makes me happy. Yeah, if that, yeah. Ian, plug something.
I'm Ian Waffles. You can find me on Ian Waffles on Twitter and YouTube by the same name. And thanks for having me as always. It was really fun to discuss this game with you, because obviously I've known for the longest time that you love this. So it's just really cool to finally be able to discuss it with
you. Of course. And yeah, you know what? I think I am going to put this out like once you send it to me and once I edit it, because I think this is a good way to start the new year off right. Start the new year off with some 06.
with
so
some
audience,
positivity.
with some positivity. So audience, when next you hear us, we'll be back to talking about comics with our normal Sonic comic chaos. We appreciate all your patience with the kind of spotty upload schedule that happened towards the end of last year. But we're back and better than ever. So yeah, tune in for that, and tune in for all the other stuff. Bye.
Bye.